Howdy, I want to talk about Jamboy, a Jelly-cious hero, which is the subtitle of it. This is a 2D platformer where you're playing a jar of jelly. And you're going around with some friends and you're completing tasks, and that's really kind of all you need to know. You're going through these levels that are all food themed, where there's like sandwiches. You use candy to collect to get a life increase. And you're using these little weapons and candy sticks to attack enemies. And it's a fun, silly, simple game. It's kind of cool to see something that's like food themed. You would think after seeing this that another game like this would have been made before, but I don't recall seeing one quite like this. And it takes the simplicity of 2D platformers, but it plays on the theme quite a bit. What I did like about the game of what I played so far is that there's moments where you can attack enemies, but once the enemies are killed, their bodies don't really disappear, they just stay there. And what you can do is you can use their bodies as platforms to help you get to other locations. You use them as stepping stones. I thought that was kind of clever. You're attacking these gingerbread men, and instead of gingerbread men just like exploding into bits, you can actually push the body. There's no grabbing or anything like that per se, but you can use your jelly jar and just kind of walk into their body to kind of move it to where you need to. The only issue with that is sometimes the body might get stuck in a spot that you don't want to get stuck in, or sometimes the character you're playing gets stuck and then you're kind of in a tough spot. But that was a nice little feature. The platforming felt pretty smooth. I was able to hop between platforms. Sometimes there's like little lamps that would give you a double jump. And a lot of the walls, you can just keep jumping along the wall and work your way up. And it was kind of nice and refreshing because playing 2D platforms, I always would get stuck on the actual platforming part. I'm not great at it though either. But it felt like I wasn't having too many issues with the platforming itself. It felt like every time I made a mistake, it was definitely on me and just not my strong skills that I have in this genre that was causing me to fail more than like the game design or anything like that. You go through each section, you have a door, and you need a key to open that door. So the goal is to get through the level to get to the key and open that door and move on to the next room or area. And as you go through, sometimes you'll meet a character, like I met one, he's like, oh, I need you to find all these badges for me. So you gotta go through the level and try to find all these badges that you can. And as you go through, the game introduces new restore mechanics. There's vines, so you can kind of hop your way up. There's no climbing per se, at least with what I played. The climbing is you just hitting the jump button and jumping from platform to platform. So you're skip jumping as you're moving your way through. And you get 3 lives, but if you collect enough candy, you get an extra life. I believe it's like 100 candy. And then throughout the level too, sometimes there'll be little pieces, I think they're like strawberries, but it's like little heart refills. Maybe 1 a level or so, 1 or 2, and once you find those, they'll refill your health. So each time you take a hit, you get 1 set of damage. And then if you get all 3 sets of damage, you die, and you have to start all the way back at the beginning of the level. I didn't come necessarily at a checkpoint. Every time I died, I had to restart from the current level or stage that I was on. And after you die 3 times, then that's it. It takes you back to menu, you have to start at the beginning. But what's cool is that in the menus, it gives you a percentage of like how far you are through a certain area. So if I would die or not, it'd be like, oh, you're 50% of the way there. And I thought that was kind of a nice additional feature. And as you're playing through, there's not too much voiceover or anything. It's more of text dialogue in the game. Having said that though, there are cutscenes, at least there was one in the beginning, and that was voiced over cutscene. And you know, the voice acting was, it did what it needed to do. The voice acting was kind of bad, but it was somewhat purposefully bad. And what gave the game its charm. It was just kind of silly, dumb fun, the voice acting. I thought was kind of silly, but it felt like the developer was like, let's just voice the characters ourselves and just kind of go with it. And because of that, it was fun. It made the cutscenes a little bit more silly and a better experience, I thought, having that in there. So I appreciated that indie dev sort of charm that it had. And as far as the look of the game goes, I really like the art style a lot. It was a little cartoony, but there was details and everything that I saw, even the way like the jam would move as you would move, and the way like the burger buns would slam up and down as you're trying to get through them. It was nice having these little touches when you have like a simple concept. And so it gave the game this like special identity and charm. Overall, with what I played of the game so far, I had a fun time. Again, I'm not the best at these type of games, so I haven't gotten too far into it. But I did want to keep going with it as much as I could. And I played this on Steam, and it ran super well on my PC. It was nice and smooth, and it just looked really good. And even the music was simple. They kind of used a couple little tracks here and there, but it was fine. It wasn't like super memorable, but it was okay. If you like 2D platformers, if you like the old school style games, and you want something that's unique and a bit different, check this one out. I think it's a well-made game. It felt really good playing it using the controller, and it's not too overly challenging, so you might be able to get through it really quick, but it's a fun, unique little experience to have.